So we'll now take our first question from Stephanie Chase from A Digital Spy. Please go ahead. Your line is now open.
Hi, Becky.
Hello.
Hey, so last year you main evented WrestleMania, and that was a huge moment for women in WWE and in general. Do you think a year on we're now in a position where it's more of an equal playing field for the men and women, or do you think there's more work to be done?
I think there's always more work to be done, but I think we're getting there. I think we've been a little diminished on our female superstars, especially on the Raw side. For a while there was maybe 4 of us that were active, 6 at the most. You had myself, Charlotte, the Kabuki Warriors, Natalia, and Sarah Logan, and Sarah and Maddie weren't really even on TV very, very much. So I think we need more women. We need everybody chomping at the bit. We need everybody coming up and challenging me and challenging everybody else and making interesting fights. And I think that's what usually happens after WrestleMania. Of course, this is a odd WrestleMania, but I'm hopeful that we go forward from here. But then you look at the card at WrestleMania, and we have 4 women's matches that are all huge in their own right. So I think we're moving in the right way. We just, there's always still work to be done, and that's okay.
Thank you, Becky.
Thank you. We'll now take our next question from Marco Occoli from Fox Sports.
Hi, Becky. How are you?
Good.
Talking about this special WrestleMania in 2 days and without a crowd, what kind of show do you expect? And how do you feel when you?
Oh, sorry. Keep cutting you off. I'll let you finish the question. Sorry.
So, yeah, when do you feel when you compete in an empty arena?
Great. Okay. So this is I have talked on Raw, but I haven't actually I haven't wrestled in an empty arena, not on Raw, but I have in my lifetime. I've come through the independent scene where I've wrestled in front of next to no people. So that's not completely unfamiliar to me, but I am somebody who thrives off the energy of the crowd, and that's no secret. That connection is what's so important to me. But I feel like I just have to make that in a different way this time, and it's a different focus. But the thing is that last year I went into WrestleMania making history, and this is a history making WrestleMania itself. So that's what Samantha does every time she steps in the ring. So now I'm going to make history as the first woman to successfully defend her title in WrestleMania in an empty arena.
And you are Irish, and as a European, how do you feel in this particular and difficult moment for the world?
Look, this is a thing where we have to all band together, and there's it's such a tough time for so many people. And I know I'm in a lucky position where I get to one, I get to entertain people, and 2, I can provide, and I think that's so important that when you're in these positions that you help the people that you can. So that's the goal, and that's the message. And I think the good thing about this is it shows people that things aren't really important. The basic things are, but it's important that we have family and our community and people to support us, and more than ever it shows just the ability of the world is able to work together these days. Before hundreds of years ago, this wouldn't be able to happen. We wouldn't know about a virus, but we're able to communicate to each other about the dangers of what can happen and minimize those risks. So hopefully people can learn from the mistakes of that have happened in other countries, and we can continue to grow and work together, and we'll get out of this all together and then help rebuild the world all together.
And the last one for me is about China. Is she the the most dangerous opponent you face since you are women champion?
She might be. So it's tough because Oscar was the one person that I could never beat, and she had already beaten me. Shayna's never really beaten me, so I don't know. I do know she's tough as hell. I do know that she has an incredible pedigree. I do know that she is the longest combined reigning NXT Women's Champion. So she is tough. She is dangerous. But I guess we're going to find out just exactly how dangerous next Sunday.
Thank you, Becky. Thank you for your time, and good luck for WrestleMania.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Alistair McGeorge from Metro.
Hi, Becky. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, yeah, not too bad, thanks. I wanted to chat to you a bit about, we've seen you kind of arriving in style to the Performance Centre the last few weeks in the truck. I was just wondering if there's much you can tell us about what you originally had planned for your entrance at Mania before it kind of got shifted and the location changed.
Yeah, I'm a bad mother trucker. Look, I don't know. I didn't really. I guess that was supposed to be part of my WrestleMania entrance. But you know, everything's changed. So, yeah, I never have had a spectacular WrestleMania entrance. Maybe this year was going to be the one time, but look at this, always next year, and the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that, so the wheels fall off.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Joe Brophy from The Sun.
Hiya.
Hello.
I just wanted to ask, obviously WrestleMania for the first time ever be on 2 nights. If you have a particular plan yourself to be able to watch it, because this time normally you're in a sort of a bubble in the live event. But obviously now you could actually check what fans are, how they're reacting as it happens. If you had any sort of plan to when you're watching it yourself.
Well, it would just be myself and Seth watching it by ourselves with our animals, so that's about it. Maybe pop some popcorn.
You wouldn't be checking into the fans' reactions to matches to see how it's going on.
Oh, is it like on Twitter or whatever?
Yeah.
I think I like to watch a match without the noise of a Twitter or an Instagram or whatever. I think that can kind of dilute it because oftentimes, I think I prefer to just watch it myself and get my own measure of a match. It's easier to measure with a crowd reaction, but I think you're going to see really the test from people, and because it's a whole different skill set, and stories will be played out in different ways, and I think that's really interesting to watch.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Kenny McIntosh from Sport.
Hey Becky, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Bit stir crazy, but good. I was going to ask you, obviously the match with Shayna is a huge match that people have wanted to see for ages, and I'm curious if you get past Shayna, or when you get past Shayna, how important to you is it that you and Ronda Rousey down the line have that one-on-one match? Do you think that's something that is important to sort of your career to have that big one-on-one grudge match with her at some point?
I think it's pretty important. I don't know, I've been here holding her before, so whenever she's ready to come back. But I think that, that people have often said about the finish of the match that it was controversial. So, I'd like to get that definitive plan over her.
Cool, thanks very much.
Our next question comes from Josh Lawless from Sport Bible.
Hi Becky, you touched on it a bit before, but with this, what's going on in the world at the moment, how important is it for you and the rest of the locker room to provide sort of escapism for fans in these tough times?
Oh, I think it's hugely important. I think more than ever, people need a distraction from what's going on, and I think we offer that. We give that, whether it's for 2 hours a week, 3 hours. Just that little something else to focus on, and that's what we're going out there and doing. We're trying to give people the best opportunity for entertainment.
Mm-hmm. And do you think this is one of the most important WrestleManias of all time?
This is the one that everybody's going to ask about. I feel like in my career, a personal WrestleMania 35, obviously, people are going to ask about this. It's the most interesting. Because in a time where everything's so uncertain, there's one thing that can still be certain is WrestleMania, in whatever capacity.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for your time, and looking forward to WrestleMania.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Matty Paddock from The Mirror.
Hi, Becky. Just touching on your match this weekend, particularly with regards to your opponent as well. Do you think we're seeing kind of a blurring of the lines now with regards to talent who's been performing in NXT coming onto what would have been referred to as the main roster, in the sense that it doesn't tend to be as clearly defined as it once was? It used to be perhaps the Raw or SmackDown after WrestleMania, you'd get 2 or 3 NXT superstars who, to use the phrase, would graduate to the main roster, whereas now it tends to be the 3 kind of outlets for WWE are sort of one and the same, really. Is that how you as a performer see that?
Yeah, it is. It is. This year was going to be it was going to be, I guess, the testing ground of that, to see what the response would be, because especially Raw, we're on the same network as WWE as NXT in America anyway. We're both on the USA network, so I was interested to see, but also maybe that's more helpful. Maybe people they already have a relationship with whoever it is that's coming up and they're seeing, so which can often be real helpful, because if you're coming up and maybe people aren't as familiar with you, because at the end of the day, NXT and Raw can be quite a different audience. Or SmackDown can be quite a different audience. So you have to reintroduce yourself, and sometimes you have to almost start from scratch. So it's going to be an interesting test to see if the people debuting will have to go through that same route.
Okay, Becky, thanks very much for your time.
Our next question comes from Giuseppe Giovanni from Gazzetta dello Sport.
Becky, the question for me is, you have a relationship outside the ring with Seth Rollins. Do you like this new gimmick, this new character of the Monday Night Messiah?
Brilliant. I think everybody does. I mean, he's one of the best wrestlers, certainly of our time. Of ever, and I think this gives them a new outlet and a whole new layer, and you can just see the layers that he has, and just how truly talented he is with no matter what you give him.
Okay. Another for me, your run as the man continue since August 2018. You can describe your secret, because in 18 months, people still love like the first day.
Yeah, I think it's always trying to be honest with your fans. I think it's trying to listen to what they want, constantly considering them. Sometimes I think we can get so bogged down in what the haters say, but I don't for a single second go, oh, well, the people that don't like me think this is cool. That's never my focus. It's always, okay, what will my fans want to see? What would my fans want me to do? And I think it's just being honest with them, and I think they know that I love them. I hope they know that I love them, and I hope they know that I wouldn't be able to do this without them, and how much I appreciate them. And I think that mutual appreciation and respect really goes a long way.
Our next question comes from Francesco Palmarini from Gnosis.
Hello, Becky. This is Francesco from Italy. My question is, heading to WrestleMania, how much is your routine changed since the emergency has arrived of coronavirus?
Yeah, so I guess the only thing that's different is now I'm not defending my title every night like I was before. So that's a bit different, but my training has stayed the same. I'm lucky enough that I had a fitness facility that I could train where nobody was at in LA. And I also in Iowa, Seth has his own wrestling school with a full gym, so I can train there privately too. So at least in that regard, staying in shape has been easy for me. It's and in different, and you just have to then train in different ways for wrestling, you know, and study more and you think outside the box a little bit more. And it's because when you're wrestling every single night, you can get into a rhythm of that, and it's helpful. But maybe sometimes it's a little bit harmful because maybe you're doing the same things over and over again that you don't really think about. So it's been a great time to adjust and refocus and rethink the style and everything that I do.
Okay, thank you. And do you have a message for the Italian fans who will watch WrestleMania?
Oh, for all the fans that are watching, look, I made history last year coming out 52 belts, being the main event of WrestleMania, making history. This year is going to be no different. I mean, it's going to be a little different. I'm still going to be walking out. I'm going to be walking out with one belt instead of two, but I guarantee I'll make history for all the people that have supported me. And for all the people who say that I can't, I'll tell them that I can.
Okay, thank you and good luck.
Our next question comes from Vincent Diaz from Marca.
Hello, Becky. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I wanted to ask you about NXT because it's going to be the first time that the NXT Championship will be defended at WrestleMania. And you're wearing NXT, and what does it mean for you being one of the four host women back in the days? What does it mean for you having a look at the NXT title at WrestleMania?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. I wonder if an NXT person should have gotten the chance to fight for it. But such is the way things fall, or such is the way things are privileged. But it means it's awesome. It's awesome to see that it is defended at WrestleMania, and to see where it's come now. Like there was a lull for women in NXT for a little while, and now it's picked up again. And it's super strong, and it makes me super excited because there's a lot of competitors that I could see that come challenge me for a title and offer me some good fights, and of course then realize that the man is on a whole different level. But yeah, being in NXT and growing that way and changing the landscape of it forever and of women's wrestling forever, hugely important to me.
Thank you so much, and good luck at Mania. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Jake Bacon from TalkSport.
Hi, Becky. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks. Yeah. With Raw, NXT, and SmackDown shows taking place without fans in the past few weeks, has the lack of crowd altered the vision you and Shayna had for your Mania match, or are you happy with the build so far?
Look, with Yes, without a crowd, it all does everything. It really does. And I'd be amiss to say that it wouldn't or it doesn't. It really does. It puts me at a disadvantage because I know that I'm somebody who is so tied to the crowd, and Shayna doesn't give a crap about the crowd or the people or anything like that. She's here to make her little buddy Ronda proud, and try to step out of her shadow. I think but for me, it does put me at a huge disadvantage. But I love a challenge. I've always been one to be challenged and to overcome these obstacles. So it's just going to be business as usual.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
Our next question comes from Christian Burns from Power Wrestling.
Hey, Becky. Good afternoon from Germany. So with the current situation we all live in, you probably have spent more time at home than you have in quite a while, especially being a WWE superstar and traveling a lot in normal time. So what has life been for you now? You mentioned earlier that you've been training or have the cover to train, but do you have maybe discovered some more hobbies or have spent time on things that you haven't had the time on in the last couple of years?
Yeah, so it's I've really been it's hard, right? Because I'm somebody who likes to go all the time, and when you actually have to sit for a second, it's initially a little jarring. But then you go, okay, well, how can I make the best of this? Because you better believe I'm not going to get this ever again. So it's been stuff like getting to just chill at home with Seth and animals and talk to people back in Ireland that I wouldn't usually talk to because I'm always on the go and there's a time difference. So being able to catch up with friends in that way and everybody's at home, so you can always FaceTime everybody, and then being able to watch movies and documentaries and then cook. I've been cooking up a storm the last couple of weeks, so at least I'm able to train because otherwise I'm back about 10 tons heavier. And stuff like I do acting classes on FaceTime as well to keep me fresh in those things, and then just reading and trying to learn new things, and then playing silly board games as well.
Yeah, sounds as you're staying busy. So can you recommend any shows on Netflix or even on the WWE network? Maybe you have found some hidden gems on there that not everybody knows of.
Becky Lynch 24. And I think it's cool if you go back and just watch all the past WrestleManias. I think that's a fun, exciting thing to do, and then it'll catch you right up to WrestleMania 36, where you'll see me making history again. To do that, and then I think everybody's watching Tiger King at this stage on Netflix. What else have we watched? I'm gearing up to watch the Ozark season 3 now. I'll be excited about that. And then it's just been a lot of movies.
Yeah, Ozark's season is great. So thanks very much and enjoy your time off.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Yash Bhatti from the Hindustan Times.
Hi, Becky. Hope you are doing well.
Thank you.
Becky, everyone knows, and you talked about earlier, how grueling the WWE schedule is. Days on the road overpower the days at home. It has also been criticized in the past. Do you think it is the perfect time to analyze the WWE schedule, or maybe a regular break after the WrestleMania season culminates?
Wait, sorry, what did you say? Or take a break after the WrestleMania?
Yes, we know the WWE schedule is really grueling, and you said that days on the road overpower the days at home. So do you think it's the perfect time to analyze the schedule?
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably the wrong person to ask because I love being on the road and my body feels great. But look, at the end of the day, we're not robots. And I think a little bit of time off can do people good and can do your body good and can do your mind good. I've had a break from that now, and I'm itching to go back. So yeah, I think there's a balance there, and I think we're kind of getting there a little bit more actually, as the time goes on, and as we're now just such a huge multimedia company at this stage that live events they're able to space out the live events for talent and able to give people breaks and weekends here and there, which has been happening a lot more often. So I think they have been doing that recently, and then this is just a whole different thing altogether.
And last question, Becky. We know that the fan interaction is extremely important in professional wrestling. However, due to the changing circumstances, WWE had to shift events to the Performance Center without the fans. How difficult is it to deliver promos or carry out segments without the participation of the fans, and which you thrive in?
So I kind of touched on this earlier, is that it's not completely new to me, because I wrestled in the independent circuit, and often there you're wrestling in front of next to nobody. So for that reason, I guess it's hard.
I'm sorry to cut you off,
but
I'm sorry. I just wanted to know how difficult it is to deliver the promos. I know we have followed your career everywhere, but
the promos?
Delivering promos would be difficult in front of nobody except the people you know over there.
No, that's just talking. It's just telling them my story, telling them my message. That's not a problem at all. I do backstage promos all the time where I'm just talking to a camera. So this is no different. It's just talking, and it's communicating to people why this match is important to me, and why they should care about this match, and why they should not care about Shayna, and why she is a scumbag. That's all it is. And so it's just conveying that message and being able to talk directly like me and you were talking now.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Becky.
there's a little
Thank you
bit of an
time.
ego boost when people are cheering your name, but
Yeah, definitely. Wishing you good health to you and your family. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Andre Surman from Route Music.
Hello, Becky. This is Andre. So I wanted to know, because of WrestleMania is taped this year, and most time when shows are taped, that there comes news sites revealing the outcome of matches and everything else. And I have to say that I don't want to read any spoilers. I just want to enjoy the show. How did you prepare this time to prevent spoilers coming out?
Sorry, I'm just going to jump in here. I think let's if you've got another question, we'll go on to that. That's more of a creative question as opposed to a talent question. Did you have a question about Becky's match at Mania?
Not about the match, but in general about this situation. Because everything is a lot different these days, do you see any chances, maybe creative-wise, on how to make different shows and maybe show the audience a different side of yourself? Because these days there is no crowd and something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I've talked about this for a long time. I've said that we need to reimagine how we do everything. So sometimes your ideas are listened to, and sometimes they're not taken into account at all. But I do think that this is an opportunity to grow and rethink the way that we do shows, and rethink everything about it. And I think that can be a huge opportunity if we choose to accept it, and if we go along the right route with it. But of course, everything's changing so rapidly, and we don't know what the next thing is that's going to happen, and what's in in the cards for the future. So I think there's just we're just trying to get a show out there that people watch, people are entertained by. Is there more to do? Absolutely. Am I thinking of what to do? Absolutely. Am I going to try and push for it? I am, and I will continue to do so.
Okay, thank you. And sorry for the first question again.
Oh, no problem.
We've got time for 2 more questions. Thank you.
Our next question is a follow-up from Jake Bacon from TalkSport.
Hi, Becky.
Hello.
With this week's Raw taping, a rerun was shown of the Mania main event from last year. Does it please you that the match seems to have aged well and more fans appear to have appreciated it more this time around from watching the replay on Monday?
That does make me happy. I do that. Yes, it does. Because look, that's going down in history as the first women's main event of WrestleMania ever. So I want people to appreciate it and enjoy it. That's the most important thing with any of these things, is that a story is told and that people appreciate it and that it does age well. Because look, I think we're in a time where everything can be criticized so easily and so effortlessly. But the thing is that I'm always going to go out. I'm always going to take those criticisms on the chin and go out and hope that I can put on the best match for the crowd every single time. And whether I hit the mark every time or not, that's always my goal, and that's what I'm always trying to do.
Yeah, thanks again, Becky.
Our last question is a follow-up from Vincent Diaz from Marca.
Hi, Becky. Would like to ask you once again about Ronda Rousey, because it's been one of the names that came out due to this rivalry with Shayna Baszler. Would you like to have Ronda Rousey back in WWE, or do you think that she's very good there at home? She's better there.
Yes, leave her at home. I've talked a long time about all these little MMA heads that want to come into WWE because they think it's an easy meal ticket, but not put in the work, not put in the hours and hours that we do when it comes to travel, when it comes to studying the craft, when it comes to the grind, when it comes to obsessing about this and making sure that the crowd appreciates everything that we do. So if she doesn't want to put in that work, well then good riddance to her. But if she does want to come back, I'll be holding down the fort. But just remember that I've been getting better and better and better every time she's been at home playing her Twitch or whatever.
Thank you so much once again, and stay safe.
Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to thank everyone for their questions. Some really good stuff in there. And I'd obviously especially like to thank Becky and remind you all that you can see her face Shayna Baszler for the Raw Women's Championship this weekend at WrestleMania 36 on the WWE Network and on pay-per-view. I guess as a final word, Becky, anything you want to say to people as a final reminder on why they should be watching WrestleMania this weekend?
Oh, it's too big for just one night. No, there's so many exciting matches. And look, it's a whole different way of wrestling, and you're just going to be into the intricacies of it a whole lot more than you would otherwise. So God, enjoy it, because we need these things right now. And WrestleMania, it's our Super Bowl, and by God, I'll go out and put my heart and soul into every second that I'm out there. So and walk out still Raw Women's Champion.